Listen vision. TC's #1 recording studio. Oh!
Greetings, everyone.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes. We are here for another beautiful Sunday at UStyle Magazine Talk Radio.
You know
with
it.
your beautiful, beautiful queen and your host.
Hey, you guys, this is Bridget.
Yes, and the one and only Lonnie.
My girl, Lonnie.
Yes, so we are excited about this show today. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be lovely. You're going to get tons of information.
And this is right up your alley.
Right up my alley.
So I'm just going to fall back because we got the expert and the expert here tonight.
Yes, it's going to be amazing.
Yes.
We have oh my goodness, this special guest that's coming on, he is going to drop some knowledge, some statistics. You know, you don't want to go anywhere.
Exactly.
You know, who is our special guest?
His name is Mr. Abdeeb Muhammad.
Okay.
And yes, and they have an amazing project that they've been working on that is very well needed. You know, as I stated, it's thought-provoking. You know, it brings knowledge and awareness to something that's very serious that goes on in a lot of communities. Let's just get that straight, not just ours.
Not just the Black community. Yeah,
exactly.
We think it's just in our,
that's right.
You know, community, and it's like, no.
Exactly.
The white community, the, you know, Jewish community, everybody, this topic is big.
Exactly. But before we go to that, you're not going to get past this. You had a special event yesterday.
Yes.
Please tell everybody. My apologies, I could not make it, but I have a 15-year-old, you guys, that now has decided that he has a girlfriend.
I know. I know. The baby.
Yes.
The baby.
Yes.
The baby.
So I hung out with two 15-year-old teenagers that's supposed to be in love all day.
How was that?
It was very interesting. You know, because it's like you try to give them their little privacy, but at the same time, you still kind of watching.
You're giving the eye, that mama eye, like,
exactly.
Don't you touch my son.
Exactly. So when it was time for them to say goodbye to each other, you know, because she was with her mom, and obviously I had my son. So when it's time for them to say goodbye to each other, so her and I are like, all right, you two, say bye. So we're trying to like turn our back so they can, I guess, have their little privacy. I don't know.
I remember them days. Good
so you know, they give each other the high hug and just a little.
Yeah, okay.
Then they turned and they went their separate ways. I was just like,
That was funny.
But it was awesome. Like I said, I've never seen him smile so much in a day, and
good.
it made my heart.
Good. He needed that.
Yes, he needed that
so
smile.
Was good.
Exactly.
So that was a great excuse. I was like, I'm gonna let her have that one.
No.
But you know, everything ended up working out. So the workshop I had, you guys, yesterday was the beauty behind the broken.
Yes.
You know, as women, we show up lovely at these conferences and ministry building and empowerment.
Looking pretty.
I mean, we're pretty. Got the stilettos on. The faces beat for the gods, honey.
Yes.
We are coming and showing up all great. But the inside is still showing up broken.
Exactly.
We know how to mask everything well. So I had your young ladies that participated. You could not come with any makeup.
Oh, okay.
No makeup. So I put that on the flyer.
Okay.
No makeup. You know, I didn't want you to come extravagant because I was going to tell you to nicely wipe it off.
Exactly.
Because we got to get to the layers of what's really going on and how you're showing up in the world. So it was amazing. The tears, the pouring out, being vulnerable, just saying, I'm messed up.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness. My marriage is this because look, I don't even know who I am.
Exactly.
So they had to make a collage mirror based on the beauty that they want to see. So what I put together was my 21-day journal. They had the mirror that they made, a candle, and an affirmation that I actually prayed over.
Awesome.
So everybody, it was intentional.
Exactly.
So at the end, each woman had to raise up their mirror and speak the affirmation to it. And they was like, Miss Lonnie, did you put our name on this? How did you know this one was for me? I said, I just prayed over it.
Exactly.
And now I want you to recite that in your new mirror moving forward.
Exactly.
Because you're going to have to break down those layers that's going on under there. So it was phenomenal. It was intimate. It wasn't too many people. It was just enough to get the breakthrough.
So why did you think you needed to do a workshop? You know, because you've sold tons of books, your journal. So why did you think that you needed to add that workshop to everything else that you already had?
I think to get more personal, people can read, you know, like again, people can show up and be motivated.
Exactly.
We know how to come to a good conference and be motivated, but the truth is you got to do the work.
That's right. You're right. You're right.
It's the work that matters.
You're
you
right.
got to get in there. And I noticed how it was even tough for people to do the workshop, meaning,
because you got to open up. You got to open up stuff that you have hidden and buried and covered up, and you got to open some stuff up. And a lot of people don't want to do that.
They don't want to do that. They want to just show up and be riled
including
up.
me. Yeah, it's hard for me to open up in front of total strangers. I'm learning though. Because I can't hold that stuff in. And I think the more, because I've tried to hold stuff in so long, now it's to the point that it kind of is like overflowing. So it's just coming out. It's just all coming out.
And that's what happens. At a point, it's going to like do a volcano type of thing. And it just pours out.
Exactly.
But we have to go back. And take your time, because some people feel like, I got to be healed right away. Today is the day and everything. And then what happens is you get a drawback or you get triggered and you back to where you started.
Exactly.
And then you feel, see, I shouldn't have tried this and this ain't working. It's like, it's not that it's not working. Give yourself a chance.
Right.
Remember, you're trying to uncover all this stuff.
Years and years. And think, when you're in like your 30s and your 40s, you're talking about 30 and 40 years worth of stuff. Yeah.
Trauma.
Boyfriends and relationships, period.
Forgiving
whether it's girlfriends, boyfriends. Yeah.
That's not even here anymore.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
So it's a lot. So I felt like that workshop was needed. Now, and I wish more people would think, you know what, I need to be in that workshop.
Exactly.
I need to be there. But when it's not a row, you don't get the big participation because people are waiting for, I want to be motivated. Rile me up. Okay, after you get riled up,
then what
next?
you gonna do with it? Yeah, what you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it?
We need to do some work, and I talk about in my book, like that work is important.
That's right.
My healing is every day from the abuse. It's not just a one-time thing. Every day I gotta sit and say, I gotta talk to my new mirror. Right. I gotta tell myself I'm worthy because remember, I heard I wasn't worthy so many times.
Exactly.
So I have to remind myself. So it was just a blessing. I'm going to continue to keep doing workshops. Beautiful. I don't care if one person register.
Beautiful.
I'm still going to show up for that one person.
Awesome.
That one person I can touch.
Awesome. Now I know your book is still selling. So where can they get the book?
Amazon, or you can purchase it through me. You can send it through Cash App, no fees.
Okay.
So if you want the book, and it's touching. It's not, this story is just not about me and me trying to sell something. I really honestly want to see more women get healed.
Exactly.
We showing up all types of messy and crazy, and we blaming other people and this relationship ain't work. No, sis, it didn't work because
it was his fault.
Yeah,
it didn't work. I didn't do anything. Yeah,
I didn't do anything.
Yeah,
Own your mess and move on.
I agree. So you guys make sure, my girl, man, what can I say?
And we doing big things over here at UStyle. Magazine. We getting healed over here.
That's right.
You see my girl
right.
Bridget going into new opportunities because she's
my
giving
new journey.
herself a chance.
My new journey. Yes, my new journey.
Ain't nothing like a new journey.
So far,
it
it's been
shocks
amazing.
people, but guess what?
Yeah, I think people are, they're a little shocked. But you know what? I try to tell everybody. I've always been spiritual. Put it that way. I've always believed in God. Like I had to tell some of my family members, I am not crazy. I have not hit a midlife crisis. I know exactly where I'm at. I've always been spiritual. I've always believed in God. But, in my 2-year search for things that made sense to me, when it came to my spirituality, Islam is what made sense to me. So that's the journey that I choose. It's not for everyone, and I don't push it on everyone. But for me, it's working for me. So.
And that's what I love, to see people showing up for themselves.
Yes, it's working for me.
It's working for you.
Yes, it's working for me.
And it shows that glow. I'm looking at them pictures on Facebook. I said, that's the glow.
Oh, thank you.
That's the glow.
Thank
That's
you,
saying I'm at peace.
Thank you.
And that's what the best part of it is, just showing up for yourself and feeling like, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm living for me, and you got children that's on the line, and you're showing them a difference.
Yes, most importantly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
so,
it.
but I also want to say, because in my rush to get over here, I need to give a shout out to So.
Yes.
Niece and Teresa Blackbird up there in Upper Marlboro. Yes, indeed. They are doing a beautiful fashion show, the Spring Bling Fashion Show right now.
Yes.
Going on up there in Upper Marlboro. An amazing turnout. Some beautiful women and men. Yes.
They poured a lot into this event.
Yes. So they have a lot of people have turned out, for them, and some great things going on, entertainment, and a lot of, really nice merchandise and so forth. Yes, exactly.
Vendors, get out there.
Yes, indeed. So shout out to them girls up there. They rocking up there. I enjoyed myself. Obviously, I had to leave early because I had to get down here to my gig. So that's right.
Get to the show.
Exactly. So just want to say thank you, ladies, for inviting us. It was amazing. You guys are doing a great job up there, and I really enjoyed myself. So thank you for having us. We're gonna take a quick break so we can get our special guest on up here, Mr. Adib Muhammad, and he's going to be talking about their amazing project that they have coming up and the vision behind it, and when can we expect to get out there to see it. So you guys don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Into shakes.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We are sitting here with your girl Bridget and your girl
Lonnie.
My girl Lonnie. And our special guest. Look, I was gonna let you introduce yourself. But no, our special guest, Mr. Abdi Muhammad, is here as well, you guys. So please welcome him to the show.
Well, thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Oh,
so
man.
it's been a long time. We've been waiting for you to get close to finishing this project, and it is here, and you're ready to talk about
Well,
it.
we haven't quite finished, but with the campaign
close.
has been initiated
Excellent.
in order to bring awareness to the issue.
Okay.
As you well know, some people know that Black Carpet Productions
Okay.
is a company that helps up-and-coming writers,
Okay.
both playwrights and screenwriters, get their projects seen before the public.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
When we first started Black Carpet, it was about playwrights. So we produced a whole lot of plays from up-and-coming playwrights.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So it's
So-
not just you guys. You kind of incorporate.
Our thing is about collaborating because we
Right.
believe that, particularly here in the DMV, even though we've done Philly, New York, and all of that, is that it's about your success is always in direct relationship to how many people you're willing to help or serve in some positive way.
Okay.
So being in entertainment, acting, producing, directing, and all of that, then the best way to help ourselves is to help a lot of other people.
I love that. I love that. So tell us a little bit about what you
Okay.
guys are doing, Black Carpet Productions.
Well,
All
let
right.
me see.
Let him
Now you're
tell
supposed to
us.
be ready. Now you
He's
sit there,
supposed to be
look like
ready.
you got to think
I
about
know,
it.
I had to think about it because when you ask me that question like that, there's so much going on.
It's a lot.
So let me hone in on one thing.
That's right.
And the reason that brought me here primarily was, this is Sexual Abuse Awareness Month, right?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
you did
child-
mention,
yeah.
you
Right.
did mention that. You
So
sure did.
what we wanted
You
to do,
did.
we hooked up with a sister by the name of Elaine Croker, who's
Okay.
an absolutely phenomenal playwright.
Okay.
What happened last year, she put her play on Yet I Stand, right?
Okay.
And
Sounds
I
like
went
a
to
powerful
see the,
name.
It is.
With the
I went to see the play over at a church, and I sat there and I watched, and it was so emotionally touching, based on the story, which is about a 16-year-old girl, which is actually Elaine's story, about
Okay.
her as a 16-year-old being sexually abused by her uncle. Right, and that's kind of deep in itself. But she had also been abused by a friend who had lured her into a house and molested her, and then didn't nobody know that she not only had been molested by the friend, but that her uncle had been doing it for years.
Years.
Wow.
Wow.
So she wrote the story. The first story she wrote was Raising, and then she wanted to make it more powerful and bring more to it. So she added to the story and called it Yet I Stand. Now, the thing about the story is that when you look at the way that young Elise went through her changes as a result of her being abused, and how she started drinking, grades got bad because she was fighting the pain.
Yeah.
and that was her way of releasing it.
Exactly. So it was such a powerful story, and doing what we do, I said, hold up, this is the story need to be seen worldwide.
Wow. Okay.
That's what happened. That's when we began the journey. So the actual campaign kicked off this month,
Okay.
which is really about us in pre-production, bringing together the story, bringing together the cast, bringing
Okay.
together other supportive organizations. Like I'm sure you're familiar with Mother Safe Haven,
Yes.
Beverly Brown Smith.
Yes.
She's also a good friend.
Okay.
She has connected with us too in this collaborative effort.
Wow.
Amazing.
So-
Amazing. So what is this project that you guys are working on? What is this project called?
This particular project, as it relates to the play, is Yet I Stand, which
Oh,
will
okay. So this
culminate
is
in a
the-
multiple city tour in December, which is Domestic Violence Month. That's when the actual performances of Yet I Stand will drop.
Okay.
We're looking at Philly, Richmond, Baltimore, and hopefully D.C.
Exactly.
Hopefully,
I was gonna say,
DC.
right,
Say that.
exactly.
Hold
Right,
up.
hopefully.
Hold up. So y'all just gonna forget about the DMV?
Like
You know I'm kidding. I'm from D.C.
Oh,
It's
okay.
you know I'm never let
Oh,
nothing
okay.
happen without being here.
Okay.
You
That
know
part.
that. You know, I had to throw that hopefully in there for some people.
Right, exactly.
Oh, they coming
my
to
goodness.
DC.
Oh, yeah, we'll be here for sure, for sure.
Perfect. So this is going to be a play.
This is going to be a play.
So
Now,
how intense was it acting out all of this?
well, when you see stories that are informative, uplifting, because the whole thing about the story, when you look at the play, it's not going to just be about the abuse and negative elements and aspects of it. It's about her getting her strength back. Because yet I stand, it alludes to the fact that, yes, I went through these changes, but I'm still here.
I'm still here. It didn't break me.
And that's
and
the
I'm still here.
triumph in the story. And I know you can relate to that based on your book.
Yes.
You see it because I'm looking at her like,
Yes.
you know, she's sitting there like,
Yeah, she got,
Yes. Because that's actually the next project that I wanted to do, was turning my book into a script.
Hey, holla at me.
See that? Come on, John. We
That's
over here
right.
working it out.
We on UStyle magazine. I'm telling all of y'all. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. And we have some phenomenal people that'll work with you to make your reality come true as it relates to whether you want to do a stage play or a film.
right, exactly. So this, Yet I Stand, is a
Stage play.
it's gonna be a
Stage.
play.
Okay,
Now,
that's going to be
Wow.
nice.
The other element that I think you alluded to, I think you said something about the docuseries.
Yes, the docu-series. We was talking about
From
that
Sorrow
earlier.
to Triumph.
Okay.
The docuseries, in collaboration with Grimes Media,
Okay.
right,
Okay.
is going to be a journey, because actually we're going to start shooting the docuseries real soon, because the docuseries is actually going to follow the journey of what we're doing with Yet I Stand and what we're doing in other areas to raise awareness to sexual abuse and domestic violence in particular.
Right.
Excuse me. But not only from a domestic standpoint, we want to deal with sexual abuse from an international perspective. So we've also brought in a sister named F.A. Cole, which is her pen name.
Okay.
She's a 2-book author as well. And what she speaks about is what they call FGM, which is female genital mutilation, which happens amongst a lot of
Other countries.
brothers and sisters from other countries.
Exactly. So it's guys too.
Well, when I say brothers and sisters, they're the ones that's making the decision to have these
I
young
got
girls
you.
to go through that.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
And that's a cultural thing. And it happens here in the States because, you got a lot of people from a lot of other countries, and they keep it underground.
Exactly.
You see?
Yeah, because you don't hear about it as much.
Exactly. I
Exactly.
remember,
That's
and
the point.
I can't remember like whether I read it or actually saw it on a documentary or something
Probably
on
did.
TV. But yeah, I thought that was like, how horrible is that?
And
12
we
and
think we
13.
have gone through so much here in the
Exactly.
United States, right? But to hear that, it's like, wow.
Exactly.
12, 13.
Yeah, but it's the nature of what goes on in humanity that, depending upon where you're from, what you're aware of.
Exactly. And explain why do they do that? Like, what's the reasoning?
Well, it's a
behind
way
the logic?
of controlling a girl's sexuality.
Right.
In these certain cultures, they cut the clitoris because then when the young girls, even they become wives, but they don't enjoy
Right.
sex. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel certain things. Sex is painful for them. Because I sat down and talked to Frances Cole, which is FA, and when she was telling me, I was like, wow, you don't really think of that in terms of the type of sexual abuse that's prevalent out here in the world.
Right.
And then you have these people
Exactly.
come from other countries.
Exactly.
Right? Live here in the States, but their culture, that's a part of their culture. So they still subject 11, 12, and 13-year-old
Exactly.
girls to that type of utilization.
So did she have this happen to her?
Yes, that's
oh
a
my
part
goodness.
of her amazing story.
Wow.
Because she's an international speaker as well.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
And of course, I'm sure like if they get something like that done at such a young age at 12 and 13, it's not reversible.
Well,
Is it?
the great thing is, it is now.
Okay. Okay.
At first,
okay.
it wasn't. That's one of the things we talked about in another show when FA spoke, and she talked about how there is reconstructive surgery available now that wasn't available
But what about the
years
ones
ago.
that can't? Okay, so
Can't
what about?
afford it.
Thank you. They can't afford it.
Because that's part of why they're working with the legislation.
Is it Medicaid?
In order
Can
to,
they-
yes, in order to get it covered. And see, that's going to take a minute. I mean, that's the
Yeah,
reality.
it's
It's going to
gonna-
take a little bit for that to happen. But the fact is, because what they do, not to get too graphic, but just like, the clitoris is a lot longer than what's perceived. So they just cut it back and then
Do
and
more.
then make,
Yeah.
Oh,
so that they can,
That is like horrific.
it is. To
And
think
it's like
about
you
it,
get stripped of your choice.
yes.
That's the thing. Like
And then
you
it
don't get
makes
a
things
choice.
like, it makes things like even them being wives, because sex is very painful to them. So, like F.A. put it, like celibacy is nothing for her because how painful it was.
Yeah.
And now she was talking about how she's healing now, and so she's feeling things she's never felt before.
Wow.
You know,
So let me ask you, how does it feel being a male and you're hearing these stories from women? How does that make you feel? I mean, does it make you feel uncomfortable? Does it, like...
It makes me feel, as a male, particularly one who has a daughter, I have a granddaughter, it makes me feel how important it is for us to be aware of what's going on in the world, particularly as it relates to the interaction between young men of, and I'm going to say young men of today, and I mean, this has gone on for years, because I'm 63, so I've been around a minute.
You 63? What?
I know.
Yeah.
63, y'all.
So I've been around a minute, and a lot of things that are out in the open now, and a lot of it is due to the prevalence of social media and information.
Exactly.
I mean, the internet has changed the game as it relates to the availability of any type of information that you're looking for. You know, of course, you got to be a little careful about what your source is, but the reality is it's like a university on steroids.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that have made the world smaller as it relates to information. So as a male, a granddad, and a dad, I would not want my granddaughter subjected to some of the things that I'm learning goes on a much more broader basis than I ever even contemplated or thought about.
Exactly.
You know, when I hear statistics like 1 out of 6 American women, period, have been affected by sexual assault, to me, 1 out of 6.
I agree. It should not happen in America where something has not taken place.
Yeah. 1 out of 6.
Exactly.
And then all of that goes back to things like 33% of men have been sexually assaulted.
And I think even with men, I think men have a harder time talking about it
Exactly.
than women. So just think how many men
Yeah.
that are covering it up and hiding behind it, and and it's coming out in all kind of ways. You know, whether it's them being promiscuous, whether they're unable to stay focused on one woman or in one relationship, because
Yeah, because when you psychologically and emotionally damaged, that has a great impact on your day-to-day interaction with other people who had nothing to do with that which caused your damage. Because
Them triggers.
So
I agree.
that's what it
I
is.
agree.
Because I was
Those
listening
triggers.
to you when you were speaking earlier about those triggers and about how good I felt when you was talking about how you set up that workshop for those sisters to talk to themselves, to give themselves some worth. Because that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
You know, I was fortunate enough to co-author a book called Masters of Success, which is a best-selling book that certain professionals and entrepreneurs shared their methods of success as it relates to lifestyle, health, and well-being.
Okay.
And I wrote a chapter called Creating the Current. And Creating the Current is primarily about how you utilize your mind and your thinking to visualize that purposeful thing that you wish to accomplish, be consistent about it, and make it happen.
Okay.
feel me?
Okay. I'm with you, but how easy is that?
It's not a question of easy. It's a question of recognition, first of all, and being consistent and having the faith in yourself. Because the one thing that is evident, anytime we've ever made up our minds to do anything, whether we realize it or not, it manifested.
If you believe.
That is true.
Hold on, let's digress for 1 second. When I say that, it's not always just about what you believe, because it's about the actions associated with people, with what you're interacting with people and what you're doing. And then you have certain actions, because cause and effect is very real. So that means if you do a particular thing, you're going to get a particular result all the time,
Oh, yeah.
unquestionably. So when you recognize that, that puts the responsibility and the onus on you to make good decisions.
Okay. I'm with
I know
you.
you with me.
I'm there.
I don't mean to get all deep.
No,
I'm just
good.
saying.
I'm good.
That's just what it be. And then any religious practice that we engage in, tell us these things. We just have to listen.
Right.
You know,
Right.
whether you prescribe to the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, whatever you prescribe to, That's God's way of telling you, look, I've given you the ability to exercise your mind and your thinking and your actions to bring about a certain set of circumstances in your life.
I just had that
Wow.
conversation just last night. I just had that conversation just last night, that regardless of whatever you think or someone wants you to do, God has given everybody the ability to have common sense and to think on your own.
And
You
will.
have to.
That's what will is.
That's
Exactly.
yeah,
That
that's what
abstract
will.
ability
Exactly.
to make a conscious decision of
That's
how you're going to
right.
do one thing or another.
That's
so it's
right.
up to you to make those choices based on the laws that you prescribe to and follow.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this play that you guys have come in, what's your vision behind it? Like, what are you hoping that everyone takes from it?
Well, what we're hoping that everybody takes from Yet I Stand is an increased awareness of being responsible for a couple of things. One, we're hoping that a lot of young men will come to the reality of how important it is that they treat these young sisters with respect.
Safe. And keep them safe.
And
Yes.
it begins with how they treat themselves and how they see themselves. Secondly, we want people, particularly sisters who have been affected by this, to know that there's help available to them, that they don't have to stay in the shadow. Because what I saw during the play at that time, which put me in a place where we had to do this, was that we had a discussion after the show. And a lot of the sisters that stood up and talked about, they saw themselves in that story of her being abused. In fact, a couple of sisters said that that was the first time in their life that they ever said it out loud to anybody about what they had experienced.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
and that's
Wow.
powerful within
It's yourself.
itself.
Yeah.
Exactly. And see, Lonnie, and that's when your workshop comes in.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
once you're able to say it to yourself, now you can
You
put
need
it all.
you need tools.
Yeah.
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 You need a whole new toolbox now.
Exactly.
Because now you're about to build a new home.
Exactly.
So you can't operate the new home and think you about to build from the old tools.
Right,
It's going to crumble.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like that old saying about what insanity is: keep continually going through the same thing and doing
You're
the
gonna
same
get the
thing.
same
thinking you're
results.
gonna get a
You'll
different
get the
result.
same result.
I
You know.
agree. I agree.
So that's
I agree.
beautiful.
Yeah, because it is important, because a lot of us who are in the media, like yourselves, you have a show here. This is a great platform for information. I got to commend you two ladies, because I've been watching y'all show for a minute.
Yay!
I've been really impressed with the feeling of not only fun, but the level of information that you give to people
Yeah.
that can empower them in their lives if they pay particular
Exactly.
attention to what you're saying.
Got to pay attention.
Got to pay attention.
Because we
That's-
can give it to you.
Yeah,
That's
but you
right.
got to act like
Exactly.
You
know
want
what I
it.
mean? Yeah.
Exactly. And and I have to say, even with that's my most important thing is, I wanted the show to be informative, but still fun.
Fun.
But still fun. But even at the end of the show, you can be able to, when you turn off your YouTube, or if you're watching it on your Facebook Lives, when you turn it off, you'll be able to say, "Dang, I didn't know that." Like,
Yeah.
oh, well,
Yeah.
that was, wow. You know what I'm saying? So you walk away with at least something.
Yeah.
And so I think that with your play, I think that's going to be awesome, because once they leave the play, it's awareness that they are becoming aware of,
Exactly.
The need to be there for one another,
Yeah.
and the need to be compassionate towards one another, and the need to take care of one another and look out for one another, and know that people are hurting. People are going through things, and they need, sometimes they need you there.
Oh,
Yeah.
you definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
let's look around us. Every time I see a thing on the news or in the paper about a sister disappearing.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these young girls, and it's crazy to me personally, because being a native Washingtonian, and I can remember when at one time in the city, from my perspective, it seemed like you could go 10 blocks in any direction at any given time, and everybody knew everybody.
Everybody knew
who
him.
family you was from.
That's
So
right.
that also meant, of course, you had some craziness in the streets.
Yeah.
But you hardly
more accountability.
You hardly ever heard about young girls being abducted.
Oh, no. Not
You
from
didn't-
here.
No, because somebody
It was
in
from
that
a town
neighborhood-
that we didn't even know the
It
name
wasn't
of
from
it.
DC.
If a little girl's way down the street, how often would you hear one of the elders say, "What you doing all the way
Right.
down here? Go back up that
Aren't
street to
you
Aren't you Miss Jones,
Yeah,
crying
yeah.
baby?
Right,
Girl,
and
what
then
you
go
doing
back
down
up
here?
there.
Go
Go,
down
right,
here.
you know you ain't supposed to be all the way down here. Go on back up there.
And with the young
Yeah.
boys too.
Yes,
I mean, you know,
I
the
agree.
young
It was
boys.
way more respect, even
I
you know
agree.
the
was a-
street guys.
it was a-
They knew to move.
Yes,
That's right.
yeah.
They
I
knew not
agree.
to do certain things in front of the elderly.
I agree.
They still did their stuff, but
But
when
they was more respectful.
yeah, grandma coming down the street,
And
they
that goes
grabbed
back
them
to that
bags.
whole communal thing about a village raising a child, but also a village protecting
Their
itself.
community.
I agree.
You know,
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I ain't gonna get into that, but
Oh, go ahead.
it's like it's like when you are fortunate enough to, because I don't smoke, drink, or none of that, so my mind is primarily clear all the time, and I'm always on a natural high because I choose to engage in activities with good people, so that I'm
Yeah, the
always
energy.
happy, and I got the same challenges that everybody else has,
like that.
but I
I
look
like
at it
that.
differently because being happy is a choice that you make
It's a choice.
based on
You're
who you
right.
are and how you are. How you see stuff.
And how you see yourself.
So when I
like
look
that.
back and I reflect on the different changes that I've seen in Washington D.C. in the streets, because even though I'm an actor and I do this and I'm an author and some other stuff, I still in touch with the streets because I know people who are still in the streets. They're children, you know.
Yeah.
So you always, as an adult, a responsible adult, are watching young people, and when you want to share information with them
Exactly.
that can help their journey be a little better, help them avoid certain circumstances by pointing those circumstances out to
Exactly.
them based on what you've experienced.
But with love.
With love, it's not about it's
yeah.
about look.
With love.
When I was your age, I came in contact with that same situation.
And you know what?
But
And-
be honest with it.
And I think
Yeah.
that's what helps when you're talking to the younger generation. It's not just talking at
At
them,
them.
Oh, no, you got
but
it.
talking with them, letting them know, hey, look, I was there. I did exactly what you're doing.
Exactly.
And I know why
and
you're
like
doing
you said,
it.
being real.
You gotta
Being
be
relatable. I think it's
Some of
about
our
being
parents today, I'm
relatable.
like, come on, y'all. You talking to your kids like you ain't done nothing.
Exactly. Exactly. How you gonna tell? I have my youngest son is 31 and my oldest son is 40, right? And throughout the years, I know some of the things that have saved them was just being honest about the mistakes I made as a young man that caused me some irreparable harm at the time until I gained enough wisdom and life experience to raise above it and move beyond, because I wasn't always knowledgeable on how to exercise my own intellectual ability and make
Come
the
with
right
learning.
choices because I
Exactly.
was too impacted and affected by other people's way of telling me how I should be.
Distractions.
Yeah,
Right.
distractions.
And
I
not
agree.
being emotionally and intellectually mature enough to know and say, oh, no, that ain't for me.
That's
I'm
right.
just falling
Yeah.
in the crowd.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That went along. Let me tell you something. That one is, and it's so funny that we're having this conversation now, because that went along with my conversation that I was having last night with a particular individual, because their response was, well, I mean, everybody doing it. Okay, so because everybody is doing it doesn't make it right. So when is somebody gonna have the balls to say, you know what? Yeah, I know you doing it, and I know
But I
everybody
don't
doing it,
have
but
to.
I'm not choosing to do it.
And why are we making people feel like if they not doing it? It's almost
There's
like
something wrong
social
with them.
media.
Exactly.
If somebody say, "Oh, I don't do Facebook," or "What's wrong with you?" and it's like,
No.
Yeah, it's not. They
Is it-
just not
they
their
just-
cup of tea.
Yeah, they don't have to.
I agree.
We shouldn't isolate them and make them feel like they're not the norm.
Right,
agree.
right.
Because they choosing not to do these things.
And a lot of old school folk, and see, I'm kind of fortunate because I've been in technology, period, since I was 40.
Okay.
So I've been into technology, period, for 23 years. And most brothers and sisters my age, my
Oh, they
friends,
ain't got time for
they
that
like, I ain't doing that no Facebook.
Facebook.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
because they look at it from a total different perspective.
Exactly.
I look
I
at
need
it
them
from
people
a-
know my business.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Or,
Right,
you know, they
right.
look at it as, well, if I'm talking to you, because they, like, okay.
It's old school.
If you
Pick up the phone.
utilizing Facebook from a social media strategic standpoint of letting and helping people be aware of that which you're engaged in, can help them some way.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's
business.
really
That's
one
what
of
it's
From
for.
a business
I agree.
perspective, that's what it's about.
I agree.
And then from a social perspective, it's about connecting with people that you haven't connected with in years. And that's, I must admit, it is a great way to find people that I hadn't seen or heard from in years.
years.
And I've seen them on Facebook.
I'm
and
telling you,
we've been
because I've
connected.
even found
look.
family members.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
That like that's my
That's
cousin.
my cousin.
That's my cousin.
Yeah, that's
I ain't
such
seen
and
them
such
in
and
100
such. I'm
years.
like, what?
That's how you rally
So
up
it's
for the
like
family
friend, you know,
reunion.
you send them a friend request, right?
Like, child, I ain't seen you. Your old next door
like,
neighbor
hey,
when you was growing up, and I mean your old classmates. Because most of us, we left high school, we don't see them people.
Exactly.
And that's that's kind of sad in a sense, because particularly amongst our people, is because sometimes we're so much engaged in the struggle of living life and making ends meet that we get caught up in our jobs and get caught up in things. Well, sometimes we forget how important it is to stay connected even to our own family.
That's true. That is so true.
And then when you
That's
talk
so
about
true.
growth and you talk about strength and you talk about creating generational wealth and all those things, that cannot happen if y'all are not communicating.
You have to stay doing it.
You know, and you can't do, our people cannot, based on our history, do things exactly like other people do it in our effort to assimilate. Because it's not an equal playing field, and I'll be the first one to tell you that it's not. That's the reality of it.
Right.
You know, so the fundamental reality, we got to be conscious of who we are as a people. And we got so many variations. But the bottom line, we got to understand who we are so we can move forward in a collaborative way.
Exactly.
And the collaboration and collective effort is what make things happen for all of us.
Exactly.
You know, that's just what it is.
So I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you, you know, talking about making sure that we are connecting as a people. Did you ever think that you would have a special fight now at this point where you're fighting for women and sexual abuse
that is so
and
crazy.
Child abuse? Did you ever think that there would be a particular sector now that you're fighting for?
The crazy part is I never consciously thought of it.
Wow.
And I'm gonna share something with you. I'm gonna share something with you that I only touched on once briefly, and since I've been in the public side.
Okay.
Growing up in D.C. as a young man, there was a point in my life that I myself did not have the appropriate level of respect for sisters as a man and a young man that I should have had.
Wow.
At that time.
Wow.
I was fortunate enough that I began to see that over the years because I have a mother that I love deeply. I have a wife, not now, but I had a wife that I love deeply, and I have a daughter. And when you have daughters, that makes you as a man begin to look at what your daughters may experience from other men that you might have been, how you might have been conducting yourself.
Exactly.
If you paying attention.
If you're paying attention.
And taking
that's
responsibility for the reality of if you're a father, there's certain things you have to do in the way you conduct yourself, particularly with women, that your young daughter is going to see. That's going to determine how she's going to interact with men. If you don't show her what it means to be respected and not to tolerate anything less than respect, then she end up on the pole. Or something crazy like that.
Right.
Not that I'm saying all you sisters on the pole crazy, but I'm just saying. You know. So I was fortunate enough, like saying and I'm gonna be honest, not till my late 30s and 40s did it really kick in of how important it is. You got to be a better man. You got to be more responsible.
You hear that, man?
How you deal with these sisters. Now, you know, I ain't never
take some notes.
I never had. From my perspective as a male, I never had a problem in attracting women, but I must admit, in my early manhood, I lost good women because I wasn't respecting them by doing things like being dishonest. And the dishonesty was saying, well, okay, you my lady, but I got 2-3 girls over here.
Exactly.
You know, and the reality is what you focus on, you get more of. So if you're dealing with multiple relationships and you're not honest,
feeding that, then you're gonna get more of what you're feeding.
So you get a whole lot of chaos, you get a whole lot of drama that you can completely alleviate. And I do mean completely alleviate, not that you completely alleviate certain drama, because men and women are women, even in a monogamous, loving relationship. But if you're trying to juggle multiple women because you think you cool, believe me, brother, it ain't. Because your heart and your emotional well-being is attributed to by your actions. You get a whole lot of drama when you deceiving people. Because you can't tell one woman, you my woman, I love you, and you got 300 or 400 honeys. That's crazy. You creating your own drama whether you realize or not.
Please.
And I ain't even mean to go here, but that's what it is.
It must was needed. I just hope they listen.
But back to your question, I think it's exceptionally important that any brothers, particularly African American males, pay particular attention to what's going on in our community with our girls disappearing.
That's right.
The women who are not disappearing being subjected to sexual abuse and domestic violence that's brought on by men who haven't
that they trust
matured. Because
that
it's
they
always
trust
the men that they trust
Trust, yeah, that's
right.
doing it.
Exactly.
Foolishness.
You're
You know,
right.
it's not some dude
Yeah.
that
Family
they don't
members.
know that
No,
just come
it's
from
the
somewhere.
ones that I know.
And
People
that's
at the
the sad
church.
part of it.
Yep.
You know? It's
So
just-
when is the play hitting?
The play is going to hit in October.
All
Bam.
right.
Perfect.
October.
So we ready.
We will give you prior to the actual dates and the venues.
Okay.
We're gonna make some UStyle magazine.
Oh,
the first place
the
to know
first.
exactly
You
where
heard it.
will
You
be.
heard it.
Because I really
The
appreciate
first.
you sisters allowing us to come on here.
Always.
Oh,
Always.
thinking about my crew. That's it.
Oh, it is us.
They're here.
Honey, you better not forget
They
about
are here.
them. You better not forget about them.
I cannot, because Elaine Crocker, who's the writer of Yet I Stand,
Okay.
is a phenomenal sister in her own right.
Awesome.
An amazing writer, and we plan to do many more things with her and support her effort to raise awareness to the sexual abuse, domestic violence issue.
Awesome.
Okay.
We plan to work, diligently with F.A. Cole and her efforts to raise
Awesome.
awareness to sisters being subjected to FGM.
And you're gonna make me when I go home. You're gonna make me Google.
I'm a
'cause
research.
I
Yeah.
want to know.
'Cause I wanna
to
know.
Oh, I'll send you.
Yeah, I
I'll send you
wanna
a
know
story.
her
Please,
story.
I want to know.
And then, because one of the things Elaine wanted me to make sure that I told the audience is that about 15% of the sisters who are being sexually abused are under 12 years old.
Look at
Yep.
that. Wow.
I
So
can
that
believe
means
it.
You know what I'm saying?
have
And
that
statistically, every
portion.
8 minutes,
Somebody-
a young girl is being sexually assaulted. So, when you hear those type of things going on, and you know the fundamental reality is that there are males doing this primarily to these girls. Now, there is, and this
Yeah.
was crazy to me too, to find out that women actually sexually abuse other women.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
from a
Oh,
male
yeah.
perspective.
but you know that is little too.
yeah, that's
little
such
Percentage
a
on
Yeah.
that is
Right.
very
It's
right.
very
It's
little.
mostly
but
men.
It's mostly men. And the crazy part is that you brothers and sisters need to pay attention to what's going on with your children, particularly your young girls.
Please.
When they telling you that Uncle Dude or somebody is doing something inappropriate or
Look
she acting
into it.
funny,
Yeah.
you better investigate.
Yeah, look into it.
Because that's one of the main things that I learned in the Yet I Stand play when I first saw it, was how young girls' actions will change because maybe the male told them something crazy
Yeah.
about something gonna happen to you, your parents, or whatever.
They
to make
threaten them.
They threaten them in some way that makes them not tell.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
they can't deny their own actions. So when they start, if they was a good student, and all of a sudden they grades get funny,
Gotta
or
check
all of a
into
sudden
it.
they
Pay
was this
attention.
good girl in the house, and all of a sudden she out in the street drinking and all that. Pay attention to
Pay
that.
attention.
And I must thank you, Elaine Crocker, wherever you are,
Awesome.
for raising my consciousness to recognizing these things. And I promise you, we're going to help you get the awareness out.
Yes.
And thank you so much, Ms. Crocker, for even bringing that to the forefront and
Absolutely.
being a part of making everyone aware. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate
We
your
do.
efforts.
They're
in making
courageous.
sure
And I must
exactly
say-
that we are all aware.
Yeah, I must say also, I want to thank Belinda Fowler-Moeller, who's the other producer in Black Harper Productions,
Awesome.
that brought it to my attention to come to that play. Because the crazy part, my other producer was in the play, and the director, Debbie Franklin, she was in the play. They played sisters in Yet I Stand.
Okay.
The mother to Elise
Oh, okay.
and the aunt.
Okay.
And that they just did a phenomenal job, in addition to it being a great story.
Awesome.
So having my team be a part of that, and then bringing me, because sometimes I'm over here doing this and that.
Right, exactly, exactly.
So I missed some stuff, and they say sit your butt down and see this.
All
and I
right.
was watching, I was like, wow.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank you because we
We're
got to
wrapping
close out
up.
now. I'm looking at the time like, gosh, that's our time.
That's our
Having
time.
fun, don't
Yes. But it was
So,
great. It
yes,
was a great show.
again, very informative.
Oh, well, thank you.
We thank you for coming on and letting us know about this project. We are definitely looking forward to being there and witnessing it
Oh, no doubt.
live and in person.
Yes.
I
Yes.
appreciate you ladies for having me.
Thank you, and we
Thank
appreciate
for
you.
coming. And as usual, you're always
And I'm going to tell
welcome.
y'all, Rock UStyle Magazine, Talk
Come
Radio,
on now.
Talk. Y'all need to rock
better
this show.
share
Y'all
this.
better act like y'all know.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to be signing out. Ooh, we're going to be signing out. Sliding.
Falling out.
See, this is why we want you to do. We want you to fall into your week after this amazing show. Fall into your week.
Now that's a segue.
Come on now, fall into your week.
Amazing week.
Fall forward.
This has been great. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you all next Sunday. Same time,
Peace.
same station, right here at WLVS radio station with UStyle Magazine Talk Radio. We will see you guys then.
Bye-bye.
Peace.